cool little 60 piece. That's only the neck though.
Last night a bitch nigga shot a real nigga, but we don't make no diss records, we just deal with it. Plus I be going through a lot, I never talk about it, and they using nigga songs in court, so I can't talk about it. Rap niggas think I'm dumb, like I don't see the play. I let them think they got the ups, then get them out the way. On FaceTime, my brother telling me he shot my mama, telling me to chill, but I know he seen that nigga face. But that's enough about that part. Talking about respect, well it's a must about that part. Playing with my money, well then it's up about that part. Cause when it's time to play ball, don't give a fuck about that part. They know I'm that nigga when they see me. Her man crush been a hater and her little brother won't beat me. Her friend been on my dick since I was passing out CDs. Her baby daddy a mark and her boyfriend probably a weenie. 3,300 on my book bag. Let some niggas in the past, but I don't look back. Shit kinda different, I ain't the man that I was. I seen death in too many forms and I ain't never really shook that. Don't let them rock you to sleep, true colors better believe them. I know that God got me, but I be riding with my reaper. Praying with my kids and even then I got my heater. And I be stepping so hard, this hoes in $1,000 sneakers. Take your bitch when I meet her and you ain't seen her in about 3 days. Knew I was a threat, I passed that stick like a relay. Spin it back to back, it's like a motherfucking replay. Turn your son into a bitch when I shoot, I think I'm D-Wade. Told him I'm a savage, if I want it, I'ma have it. Playing with my lettuce, cook your head like a cabbage. Tell them that I'm rich and I'm solid, that's the advantage. Bitch, bad kids, fresh little nigga, you can't stand it. Tell them big checks, yardsticks, not a ruler. All I smoke is ops and I don't never smoke a hookah. Looking for a blessing that's worth of Jesus and Judas. Tell them niggas game 6, my whole team full of shooters. I slide on a nigga like a motherfucking flip-flop. Pressure on your homie and I promise he a flip-flop. Talking that wooty-woo, something. I know the police listen, so I ain't really saying nothing. I know these niggas envy, they can't manage how they feel. Jealousy's for bitches, you niggas pussy for real. A nigga get the drop and he happen to shoot. First we heal up and get back, we ain't going on the shirt, I swear to God, nigga.
That woo-woo, something. I know the police listening, so I ain't saying nothing. Talking that woo-woo, something. Nigga, cock back and aim and leave you bleeding where you running, swear to God, nigga.
Let's be real. Something happened over the weekend that was worse than 10 9/11s.
Damn.
It was worse than 100 bombings of the Israeli nuclear sites. No, sorry, Iranian. Okay. 4XTRA blew his hand off. And obviously...
I'm not sure if that's the best way to start that, but y'all know the deal, Red Dots. What's the deal, y'all? Trap News Network, TNN Trap News Network. Back in the same, like cracking the same here at TNN Trap News Network. It's like a news you can use, like an Allegito, you ain't finna get nobody's Allegito, big dog. Tap in with that tap in to make sure you're in fact tapped in with that good. Tap in, hit the like, hit the comment, hit the good subscribe button. Everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Using team, you can using team. Good Allegito, you ain't finna get nobody's Allegito. Tap in with that tap in to make sure you're in fact tapped in with that tap in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit all stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest. Everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Make sure you get into the likes, get into the comments, get into the good subscribe button. Everything we have going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit all stay tapped in with the tap in. If you ain't tapped in with that tap in. ADAM22 speaks on 4XTRAZ'S blowing his hand off on the 4th of July. Let's get into the content. Let's go.
This was an extremely viral thing to have taken place, in particular, I think, because of the fact that he has essentially built his entire name off of, threatening violence, saying that he wanted to pack people out, claiming that he won 10 fights in a row in jail, he never claimed that he put a carrot in his butt, but we all kind of, or in someone else's butt, we all kind of know that he probably did. And
we all probably know that he kind of did. It's crazy.
Took the internet by storm. And it was even crazier that it was 4th of July weekend. It was everybody had plenty of time on the internet. Everybody's looking at their phones, hanging out with their families. And all of a sudden we find out that someone who in many people's minds was the most viral no-jumper host of all time, many would say, was now a man without a hand. And there were a lot of insensitive reactions to it that I'm sure we all saw. It was hard not to acknowledge the hypocrisy of the fact that many of us in this room, particularly this couch, have spent a lot of oxygen making fun of other people who are missing limbs. It happens. It's a hip-hop thing. I'm just going to blame it on that.
So you were making fun. Oh, so now you're trying to make it clear that you was making fun of T-Rail, and now 4XTRA's got it. All right, let's see where it goes.
That being said, 4XTRA, missing a hand, apparently still does not have his vision completely back. I do believe a large percentage of it is back. And that he's not going to be living his life as a blind man, which is, to be honest with you, We find out that he blew his hand off. 40 minutes later, they're telling me he's blind. I spent many hours thinking that he was blind and missing a hand before I was finally...
Damn, bro, that's kind of... Yeah, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
assured that,
Big prayers up to 4XTRAZ'S for sure.
to some extent, his vision is coming back.
Well,
So
is the blindness caused by the explosion, or was it like, or is that more like a
I
trauma
imagine it's due to the flash of the explosion.
reaction that the body just?
no,
had?
it was the explosion. From what I heard, he was actually in the car and he was lighting the firework, about to throw it out the window, and his homie was driving, and that's why his homie, I think, may have lost an ear, this part of his face, and an eye. Now, I'm not even 100% sure who the friend is. I don't know if it's somebody that he's ever like brought to the office or somebody that I've ever spent time around. But and then in addition, for extra, I think it being, you know, contained was probably worse for whatever happened to his vision, because of the fact that they were in a car, and I guess the window was probably down, but the, you know, the roof and everything is going to kind of contain the blow. I don't know. I mean, I'm taken aback. Like last night, because I was in Palm Springs for 4 days away on a little vacation with the family, right? And so I didn't have any
4XTRAZ'S suffering that type of energy in an enclosed space is absolutely barnacles.
weed. I just had a little tiny weed pen. I forgot my spliffs. When I get home last night at like 10, I smoke a spliff. I get really, really, really high. Then I go and I lay in bed, and my high brain was just so overwhelmed by the fact that this is our reality. Like how, like already being such a famous gang member, a famous icon in this space, somebody that the people are so intrigued by, they'll just click on hearing him talk about so many different things. And now to know that a large part of his claim to fame is gone, I mean, I honestly kind of feel like I just lack the words to even describe how crazy and shitty and messed up the situation is, you know?
Have you spoke to him?
I have not.
Yeah, 4XTRAZ'S is going through a traumatic time, and again, man, all I can continue to say is prayers, blessings to the family, and, you know, just prayers and love out to 4XTRAZ'S, man.
I sent him a voice note. I've been speaking to Lupe. It's like group chat with me, Lupe, and Whack and Remo that has been kind of our main way that we've been finding stuff out. I know Remo's hopped on the phone with Lupe a couple times, but I have not actually spoken to him, although I offered to go to the hospital this morning and was told that he's not going to be having guests at this time. And then I did see Kevin Gates there, so that was
Shows you where you stand.
that was a little troubling. No, and
That was like a day ago.
that was like yesterday. The same.
Yeah.
I offered to come today, but anyway, like Whack was in the group chat, so Whack was tripping on Lupe, like, "How dare you let Kevin Gates go there and Adam can't go there?" I'm like,
So after everything's going on, you're worried about Adam not being able to, like, this man lost his hand, and you're worried about Kevin Gates versus, yeah, this is ignorance.
damn, I wouldn't have even thought to raise a stink about that. But I guess we might as well go around the room. What are your thoughts on 4XTRAZ'S now being without a hand?
Well, obviously there's like this, the elephant in the room is the whole poetic aspect about it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the guy that has been, what from people's perspective, kind of bullying people with the threat of his hand. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because 4XTRAZ'S really ain't came at nobody who ain't came at him. People take stories from the internet of what happens in jail with no actual understanding of it, and was like, oh, well, he's this, he's that, blah, blah. He really didn't bully anyone, you feel me? But regardless of the fact, a lot of people just, you know, turn down, but regardless, whatever. People just a lot of people on the internet look for a reason to be a victim. It's a lot of weak people on the internet, and when they see somebody who represent the strength that they don't have, then it's a bully, then it's that. Because you think about it, 4XTRAZ'S hasn't bothered anyone outside of people who he has gotten into it with, and how he handles that is how he handles that. But, you know, to say, oh, he be bullying people and all that, bro, any grown man that say that you was bullying them and they're a grown man, it's a weak man, for sure.
He's never imposed that threat on me. He's always been super kind to me, you know what I mean? Nice guy, dope person, you know, horrible thing to happen, but just the fact that this is a guy known for his hands, instilling fear had the whole incident with Unc. You know what I mean?
And when there was a thumbnail that had him standing up next to Unc with a red circle around his hand. Never have I ever felt more like I'm living in a simulation.
Yeah, no, it's like that was my first takeaway. Beyond anything else, is like No Jumper is not real. There's no possible way that 4XTRA lost his hand. There's no way that I do a podcast with Munchie B every Tuesday and Ralphie the Plug every Friday. There's no way that's actually a thing. You know what I mean? There's no way any of this is real. It's not real. I don't believe it.
I mean, so did it really burn fast, or was he holding in the car trying to throw it at the right spot and just held it too long?
They're saying that
throw it and it bounced back, or
they're saying it was a dirty batch and they were going a lot quicker than expected.
We have any other situations with dirty batches this week in LA?
So per my understanding, in that like group of friends, there was 3 different incidents where
it went off too quickly.
Wow.
Where it went off too quickly.
Really?
Yeah. So that wasn't the even within those guys hanging out.
I am
Because my homie's
hesitant
cousin was with them all day.
I've seen a lot of people pushing a conspiracy theory that like the Mexicans are trying to take the blacks out by selling them
Adam, you ain't see that nowhere. Where did you see that?
faulty fireworks. I feel like that's far too much of a leap to a conclusion that based without evidence, it just seems like kind of an absurd claim to make.
But to the masses is crazy. Now, like, oh, I don't like this guy, sell him this box. Maybe, but we're gonna sell all these, and we're only gonna hit a couple incidences.
Yeah, and we're gonna take out our rival race by blowing off their appendages.
I've seen a lot of
Seems unlikely.
I've seen a lot of pictures similar to the 4XTRA'S one, and it's normally a Mexican in the picture. You feel me? Like they get in the most, like, because they're the fireworks plug. You feel
Or a
me?
trailer park white guy.
Or a trailer park white guy, 1,000%.
Sure, one of the two.
Yeah. Is not normally like a South Central gang member, but like at the end of the day, I feel like people are just being super insensitive about it, and I get it. And I feel like the groups of people.
I wonder if they're gonna talk about the fact that Munchie B was one of the people being insensitive towards it because that's their homie and their co-host.
That people are going to be the most insensitive towards in situations like this are gang members, rappers, and podcasters. And he happens to check all 3 boxes.
But for the most part, the ones that he really had beef with, like, didn't really say anything crazy, right? Like Jap 5 and
Jap 5 was respectful about it, yeah. But then somebody like X4 couldn't bring himself to be chill about it. But then, like, you know, Munchie B in our group chat kind of made it clear that he wasn't really planning on joking about it or anything like that. But then meanwhile, somebody like T-Rel, who again is missing an appendage of his own, he had a bunch of jokes that he made about it.
But then Munchie B did say some things about it, bro. And that's where Baby Runner and all that kind of comes in at. So if you're going to say something about T-Rel saying it and you saw that, that means that you have had to have seen Munchie B and what he had to say.
I mean, and that was part of it too, is like, there's a lot of people who seem like they probably would not have dissed him in a world in which he had his right arm. But now that his fist is gone, people are, you know, seemingly much more open to making jokes about it, which I've seen a lot of people saying is very, very cowardly.
No, if you wanted to find him, burning to Western to Fig, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you wanted to find him.
30s to the 100s.
Right.
You know where he at.
I feel like Brandon's going to have like a...
Break it down, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's going to tell us why.
What's the nuanced take?
There's no nuanced take. Just basically, like, between 9 and 12,000 incidents happened with fireworks or munitions is what he had, like explosive, going off prematurely on the 4th of July nationally. What's going on there, to just like really shed some light on it? Basically, it's the way they're storing it. There are M1000s. They're stored in like cases. Some may have gunpowder actually leaking out of them. And if that gets on like the wick that you light, it causes it to disintegrate instantly versus a slow burn like it's supposed to. You're supposed to light the end, it slowly burns down, and you get about 30 seconds before it goes off.
Yeah, all the videos I watched, it took a while for them to go off.
I went and watched a bunch of videos too. And so, and the way you're supposed to do
that.
It
makes sense too, that if he's saying if they have gunpowder on the wick and all that, that can definitely alter the time of you know, burn and all that kind of stuff. So I could definitely see that for sure.
You're supposed to put it on the ground, then light it, then move out of the way. Even the way 4XTRAZ'S was handling the explosive, keeping them in his hands. No, God, they probably were falling on the ground, picking them back up, you know, all this stuff. It just was a recipe for disaster. Anytime you're trying to throw that stuff, you're not supposed to throw it. You know, even when you watch them blow up mines and stuff, they are far away already, and then it blows up. So it's just ignorance, you know what I'm saying? Like, not really understanding what he was dealing with.
But it may have been faulty as well.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah, that's why it was faulty, essentially, right?
I don't think the M1000 was faulty in itself. I believe that these things are not being stored properly. The people who are selling these things, they're getting them, they're throwing them in their trunk, and then they're just selling them to the community with no safety. But
You gotta respect that too. It's like a gun, bro. Like, you can't just think it's a toy.
That's real. You gotta respect it. You have to treat it like it's something dangerous for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have fun. Like, you gotta have a level of respect for those too.
No, straight. What
know,
about
for
right
sure.
beforehand? Like,
That's the craziest
literally
part,
the
bro.
first. It's like a few moments later. The first clip was him being like, "I'm gonna blow up with this shit." Like, where the ops at? Da, 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 da. Like,
I
but
feel
what?
like that's crazy.
And in reality, like, we know 4XTRAZ'S about that life. I'm not saying he's.
But he's f***ing around when he says,
Oh, 100%.
I'm gonna go blow somebody's head off with this or whatever.
Yes.
It's like
about
he's,
what life?
Well, like,
He's
in
a
part-
fader, not a shooter. In
I mean,
games, there's
he
different.
did 10 years in prison for shooting up somebody.
Yeah, but he's still a fader, not a shooter. A shooter is not talking about I'm fighting and doing none of that. Most shooters don't even want to catch fades inside jail. What I was gonna say was,
And that's real. He's a squabbler, not a power. Now, can you get pow? Probably, but you know, reality, he trying to go ahead and catch something in the squabbly wobbly drop it like it's hot. You feel me?
most ignorant part is, why are you lighting M1000s in a car? Of every video that I watched, which is over 100 videos just for research purposes,
100.
nobody was attempting to light this in a car. There were even people getting their hands blown off, and at least they were outside. People blowing things. People use these things to blow stuff up, like cabinets. And
Well, it's like, you know, like it's pretty normal when
It's definitely not normal to hang out with fireworks, to handle fireworks or explosives. That's actually not normal.
when it's kids.
when have you ever seen someone light? I'm asking you this question.
No.
When have you ever seen someone light a firework in a car? In a vehicle?
Never. Like to be honest with you, an M1000. I don't even really think I've
Just
seen
anything,
too many
even
of
the
those.
little safe little ones. You've never think about in your life. You've never seen someone attempt to light any type of firework inside a vehicle. This is a new level of ignorance that we've achieved.
Well, I will say that, like, I'm a person, and as far as this just seeming like weirdly, I don't know if poetic is the word, but just weirdly like cryptic how this all went down. Right before I found out, I had been having a conversation with my mom on vacation, and my mom said, "Oh, I
You
knew
gotta be careful with these fireworks out here, bro.
that you were my son when you were 7 years old, and we were going to go to the fireworks, and you said that you thought fireworks were stupid and you didn't like fireworks." And then like 20 minutes later, I found out that my friend blew his hand off with fireworks. I'm personally someone who's never really been that fascinated by them, in the sense that, okay, you spend a bunch of money on them. I've known people throughout the years
Yeah, they spend thousands of dollars to just burn their money up. I never really understood that.
going and spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on fireworks, and then it makes a loud noise, there's some bright colors or whatever, and then that's kind of it. To me, this is just not something that I ever really saw as like all that fascinating. But if you know 4XTRA, I mean, his attitude towards the fireworks, and we didn't really know this about him since we never seen him on the streets for a 4th of July, but he's like a kid in the candy shop. Like,
Right.
when it comes to the fireworks, this to him is sensory overload. He loves it. He thinks it's the funniest, coolest, best thing ever. And now he's going to spend the rest of his life as a man with just
The irony behind the 1-2 step like Sierra.
one hand.
Well, because also, like, this is a guy that doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. I feel like he's somewhat of an adrenaline junkie, and I kind of got that vibe when we were doing the go-karts a few days ago. Josh can attest, like, 4XTRA was definitely, obviously, as usual, the life of the party, and was very, like, he was really into the whole go-kart thing and trying to, smack into people. And
So
all
we
that.
still have that vlog ready to release. So when that comes out, don't expect him to be an amputee. He's already.
What if he
he's gonna
never?
have
What
both
if he?
hands.
Pre-incident.
What if he just like never had a child?
I mean, that's what I think too. I think 4X has done so much in the streets that when it comes to him, you know, actually now having a chance to do childlike things like go-karts or, you know, 4th of July and all that kind of stuff, he go crazy.
Like that. And like, so when he does, he gets to kind of do childish things. Like he has like now an abundance of resources, I guess, because of how handsomely Adam pays him. Maybe he's just like living out all his like childhood fantasies, going go-kart racing and he just
I don't know exactly what his childhood was like. Like I don't know how rough
He made it very clear that it wasn't too childhood friendly, more thugging.
it was, or if that kind of began later.
Yeah, so what if? But the biggest thing that shocked me was that GoFundMe. Like, bro, actually got money. I didn't expect that.
I think he's at $8K right now.
I didn't expect him to get $200.
Right.
Literally.
Well, I guess it's like, I mean, like how fancy is he going with this limb replacement? Is he going full cyborg hand? Is he finna have a Metroid blaster like Samus Aran? Like what are we doing here? Because potentially, even if he has just metal fingers that are, and there's some way
he's not gonna get metal fingers. He's
doesn't
just
he
gonna
still
have
Him getting metal fingers as well.
Have a couple
stump.
fingers?
Who do we even
why
know with
not?
metal fingers?
What if he has a full-blown metal prosthetic? That'd be dope.
The wrist, or he still has a couple fingers in like the hand, kind of.
Well, look, if it's 2025,
allegedly it's this.
Yeah, that right.
Like
hang loose.
yeah, it was a Hawaii
Yeah,
thing
hang
or
loose.
something, right? That's
He's
what they
hang loose
say.
in Hawaii,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll make him like a rubber sleeve that slides on his hand, so it looks like it just blends in. And if he has any hand tattoos, they'll put them on that thing.
Or I feel like
That's
he's
dope,
going to
yeah.
be one of these guys. I was assuming like he'll just kind of keep once the bandages come off or whatever. I feel like he'll keep it tucked up in there. Like I don't know, because obviously the idea of him just like flaunting his nub is like crazy to imagine. I don't think he's going to be showing whatever he's got left off.
Yeah,
Doing
no, unless you
erotic
got
scenes
that
with
thing.
Kazumi with the nub.
Well, a lot of people, the Swamp Stories posted that on Instagram, like will ADAM22 allow 4XTRA to fuck his wife with his new nub, and some people are
streets wanna
just
know.
sick.
That is a barnacle situation.
Like Swamp Stories, come on.
You ever heard that joke?
This guy just had a song where he said he jerks off to his best friend's wife.
I mean,
That's worse.
I masturbate to my friends. That's the sexiest. So that just could.
Is that about me?
It could be about.
No, it's about you.
So you're admitting to macking crazy on Adam's wife? That's wild.
You know how the sexiest.
Now you gotta make it.
I just thought it was.
I've been
creepiest
researching.
thing I could possibly
I mean, if
say.
you wanted to jerk off to like most people's wives, you would be short of material by which to do so. If you wanted to jerk off to my wife, there's plenty of stuff out there.
But that's the thing that like it kind of wasn't about Adam. It was more like about like
That's
the
wild.
homies' wives that are more.
Can you stop
regular and
lying?
square. No, like.
Can you
feel
stop?
me? Like the
This
homies'
guy
wives
kills
that
me.
have no.
Well, it's
why
probably
would I not say I?
If you say you
think
jerk
I'll
off
be
to
a-
my homie's wife,
You think
there's
I'd be
only
embarrassed if I?
there's only
Are you
there's
she's
only
professional.
one there's only one person that you know whose wife you could see in a vulnerable way to an appealing way to where you could even jerk off. Like
I got a twist in
this is
mind, Brandon.
clearly aligned to
I don't
this
give a
guy.
shit. You can
Yeah,
beat
he
it.
doesn't
You can
care,
beat me
bro.
all day.
Yeah, that's wild. All right, so we about to the next one. That's where that's gone on a crazy twist. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. Free Avenue and your tweets free.
We go.
We gone.